He's played 11 years in the National Football League. He's a first-team All-Pro. That's the stuff that matters, not the Pro Bowl, whatever that was this past weekend. He's an absolute stud on and off the field. He's Demario Davis. He joins us here on the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio on behalf of Nationwide. How are you?
I'm blessed, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure is all ours.
Same.
Roger Goodell said today that officiating is better than it's ever been. That was a direct quote from the commissioner of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Your reaction to that is what?
Oh, man. Officiating?
Yes, that's what he said.
I think their intentionality to be better it can be commended. They are attempting to find solutions at how they can be better. Now, if they are actually arriving at the finished product, that's TBD.
Okay, fair enough. We're seeing Sean Payton just became the coach of the Denver Broncos. You've obviously played for Sean Payton.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on how all that went down?
Oh, man. Well, before we get into that, man, first let me thank you for bringing me on to talk about Man of the Year. I got to give a major shout-out to Nationwide. They're doing a phenomenal job of all the stuff they're doing for Man of the Year. That's one of the big reasons I'm even down here at Super Bowl. They're giving us a huge platform to just tell our stories and share. Since they partnered with the NFL, this thing has really blossomed. They personally donated, I think, $1.5 million or more to players' charities of choice, and so it's huge. So I just wanted to make sure I gave that shout out. Thank you for having me on.
What would it be? What would it mean to you? I mean, Walter Payton Man of the Year is the most iconic award the NFL gives, and they're recognized at halftime and right before the game of the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
What would that mean to you?
It'd be huge, man, just because of the legacy and the life that Walter Payton lived, all the men that have came before me and winning this award. But most importantly, more than the award, the impact that's able to have to be had on the ground. I have 2 academies, one in Mississippi and one in New Orleans. We're serving about 150 to 200 kids, elite student athletes, and so our job is to help them go from where they are to a college opportunity, mostly through scholarships. Understand that they can't pay for college. And, we try to make better people at the same time. So we pour into them mentorship-wise because we don't want great athletes. We want great human beings. And our goal is not D1, it's day one. We want them to get there and be day one starters.
It's interesting because, and I do want to get back to the same stuff, because the academies, in terms of focusing on them getting to college.
Yeah.
So much of, and look, and the media is just as guilty of as anybody, right? In pushing kids to dream that pro dream of making the money, whereas it feels like, though it focuses on student athletes, it is focused on getting them into college, getting them that college education. Where does that come from for you? Because so many in your position have said, like, hey, man, you got to get paid and worry about that stuff later. Where does the education piece come from with you?
The education piece is the most important, understanding that what's happening in education. 50% of the students are being left behind. So we not only do want to be a part of education, we want to kind of transform education in the way it's done. And we have partners who are helping us do that. We believe in individualized education because the one-size-fits-all model isn't for everybody. Also on the education standpoint, we do beyond sports. So what are the careers? When you go to a football game, there are thousands of occupations that are around you besides the 22 positions that are on the field. And so we have academia that's specifically designed around helping kids go D1 in sports media, sports finance, sports tech, sports medicine. And so we have a curriculum that's around that. And that's what it's about for us is we're going to give you tools to go around your game that you may or may not need. And it's going to be a higher chance that you're going to need those skill sets because only 1% of you are going to go to the pros.
Right, and then you have the background of sports to go with it,
there
the background which only helps you get ahead and maybe get a first opportunity, and then you can support it with all the other things you already know.
Exactly, and so what we're hoping, we just began with our 9th graders, so they're our first class. So in 4 years, we want to be putting kids in college on scholarships to go work in training rooms, to go work in the media department, to go work in. So they're going D1 in something other than the sport, but they can still be around sports.
So let's go back. So Sean Payton, a year ago, he doesn't retire, but he kind of steps away from the team. What's his whole last year been like?
It was different. I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. And for whatever reason, Coach Payton felt like he needed a break or whatnot. But a 4 years passed. Dennis came in, phenomenal head coach, and we had a lot of continuity in the building, so we didn't lose too much. And now Sean is over in Denver, and wishing him well and much success with that.
You guys were so close a couple years ago. I mean, really had the lead in the third quarter against the Buccaneers, fumble, and after having beaten them twice, they turn around and go win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What's it going to take to get you guys back to that level?
Oh man, I think we're very close. We're closer than oftentimes it can appear. I think they're going to do a phenomenal job to make sure that we have a phenomenal quarterback play. I think there's been defensive changes to make sure that we get back to starting the way that we finished. I think we finished down the stretch much like we anticipated to play all year. And I think they made the changes to make sure that we come out the gate hot defensively. And so I feel like great defensive play and great quarterback play, that's a recipe for success in the league in general.
Well, you
look
have
at the two teams in the Super Bowl this year. They
correct,
have that.
right? When you look at the Eagles, I mean, dominant up front on both sides of the football. But now the schedule-wise, some of the best teams they played didn't have their starting quarterbacks. Heck, even the Niners, they didn't even have a quarterback in the second half. They could throw out there versus a team like the Chiefs that doesn't feel as loaded up on both sides of the line, but they got Mahomes, and he's like a cheat code for all this other stuff.
Exactly.
In your mind, what has a greater likelihood of success?
It's going to be a great game. I'm going to go out on a limb and just call it, even though I have one of my great friends, C.D. Deuce, is premier safety for the Eagles, and I want him to win a Super Bowl. My pick is the Chiefs. I do think people are sleeping on the Chiefs.
I want to ask you about the late hit on Mahomes.
Yep.
You've been in that position before.
Yep.
You're chasing a dude down.
Yep.
It's the end of the game in that game. And there's other stuff that, the higher the level of the game, and you played in those games, they let stuff go, right? Mixon gets hit, not even on the white, on the green outside the white. They don't call it early in the game.
Yep.
Burrow gets popped a little bit by Clark well after he threw the football.
Yep.
As a linebacker who's chased dudes down, should that have been a penalty?
I would never be a fan of a late flag deciding a game. I will never be a fan of that.
And it wasn't a late hit. He pushed. It wasn't like he's going after knees.
It's the same as in basketball. I'll never be a fan of a foul putting a guy on a free throw line on a game-winning shot. Unless it's just flagrant. But I mean, you got to let it play out. You want the end of the game to come down to a play being made versus a penalty. Now, defensively, you just got to know you can't make that mistake regardless. But I just will never be a fan of an official being the reason why a game that's hanging in the balance goes this way or that.
Deebo Samuel was with us about a half hour ago, and obviously they were closer than you guys were this year. But he's like, man, I can't even watch the Super Bowl. Can you watch it?
Yeah.
Well, you'll be there getting the Man of the Year award, so you probably have to watch it.
Well, this is the first time I'm actually going to the Super Bowl. I made a vow. My wife and I made a vow that we would never go to a Super Bowl
unless you were playing the Super Bowl.
Unless we were playing in it. But look, God is good. We're coming for another reason, and we're definitely grateful and receptive of the honor of the Man of the Year.
If somebody wants to find out more, wants to find a way to help your academies.
Oh yes, please. We want it all. We need all the help. DevotedDreamers.org. DevotedDreamersAcademy.com. Those are the websites. You can look at Devoted Dreamers 707 on social media or Devoted Dreamers Academy on social media. Yes, please tune in, tap in. We want all the support. Our goal for Devoted Dreamers is we're in 2 cities now, in 2 states. Our next goal is to be in at least 5 states throughout the South. And so that's our plan. Devoted Dreamers could be coming to a city near you.
Demario Davis, of course, plays for the Saints. More importantly, tries to help society become a better place, and he joins us on behalf of Nationwide with their Walter Payton Man of the Year award, which he is the Saints nominee for that award. We'll find out this weekend. Demario, thanks so much for what you do.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to watch you play football as well.
Blessings. Yes, sir.